Yeah.
All right, here we are, flying high with the birds, everyone. We got Jimmy here. How you, Jimmy?
What's up, boys? How we doing tonight?
What?
We're doing great. How you doing, Vahe, the Armenian Hammer?
I'm doing good, guys. I'm pissed off, but otherwise I'm good.
Yeah, this should be a good one tonight.
Yeah,
How do you let a backup quarterback go 92 yards with one timeout?
I thought that was Peyton Manning back there.
Yeah, right?
Well,
Unreal.
Just a little recap on the game. Eagles lose again, third straight week to the Seahawks, 20-17. Drew Lock, goes 90 yards, throws a beautiful ball in the back of the end zone. Our corner tells, in a press conference after that, he was playing the sticks. That's what he was told to do. And, he just got beat. But Jalen Hurts, a terrible, terrible day. 2 interceptions. He was 17 for 31, 143 yards, no touchdowns, only rushing touchdowns, which seems to be the only way we know how to score is 1 yard, Philly shove, tush push, whatever you want to call it. It seems like that is our offense. If we can get to the 1 yard line, we're going to score. If we can't, we're going to lose. But let's open it up. Hey, what did you think about the game?
I think they have a couple of things. They have a staffing issues with the coaches, and they have a player issue. I think I was just, while you were doing the intro, I was looking at the stats on James Bradbury, and apparently the defensive passer rating for the last 3 weeks, 149.3 versus the 49ers, 139.1 versus the Cowboys, and maximum 158.3 Monday night in the Seattle. Everybody's scoring touchdowns on him, so he should be out. I mean, I'm surprised.
Cooked.
He's beyond cooked. I could get the same stats as he is.
Hey, I'm like so glad that you just brought that up.
That's pretty
I
bad.
wasn't aware of that. That has got to be the worst in the NFL.
That's terrible.
Yeah. He's allowed 11 passing touchdowns, most on record since Stathead began tracking cornerback coverage stats in 2018.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but Kelly Ringo, he looked okay. This past week.
I thought the same thing. If anything came out of that game, like he looks okay. Like he really did. And it's so funny because right around I think it may have been the fourth quarter early, I'm like, he looks all right. Like,
yeah, do we think this defense could actually look better if we push Bradbury to the bench? The Seahawks were okay with, having their star corner sit a couple series.
I think I agree with you. I think the thing is that at this point, the way things are moving, probably Super Bowl is out of question. So they start playing the young people, the young guns, and let them do better next year. I think once they get rid of the Desai, I mean, they technically didn't get rid of Desai, but I mean, he's not there anymore, and then Patricia. So I think that basically next year could be better if they start playing the young players, and it is what it is. You have to move on. But the way it is right now, I mean, they have to cut Slay and they have to cut Bradbury. I mean, whatever. They cannot continue with those two on the payroll.
Yeah. Don't you think it's kind of ironic too? And I think Vahe, you pointed this out on one of our text messages during the week that Slay opted for the surgery, and then all of a sudden Patricia's calling plays come Sunday.
Yeah, it's too much of a coincidence because, Slay had such a problem with Matt Patricia, even coming to Philly, and they had to work things out before the season. I just feel like, Slay is a me guy. He's frustrated with the defense. And now they must have told him, Matt Patricia's going to be taking over. And he said, all right, see you later. I'm just
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's what on Saturday night when we were talking a little bit, I was saying it seems like something's off chemistry-wise with the team. And immediately after that Dallas game, Slay said, well, I think I had a good game. And then it seems like every time they're losing on the offensive side of the ball, AJ Brown's whining and complaining about something. That's just my opinion, but it's so different from that 2017 Super Bowl team where they had one another's back 24/7. They were all in it together. There are no me guys, I guess you could say.
Yeah, there's definitely so much finger pointing right now that that there's something much bigger going on behind closed doors with the
Right.
Eagles, and
And
it's
it
not
goes
looking
to,
good.
I mean, when I said the text today, Sirianni could be like, if he cannot take control of the situation, he could be gone because this is not the joke. If everybody start chirping, everybody start blaming somebody else, and he's supposed to be the head coach, and he's not taking control of the situation, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like to go back, even Hurts' post game comments. What were you saying? He's like, everybody's not committed. What did he mean by that?
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys,
That's alarming.
what did you guys take from that comment from Jalen Hurts? What was the first impression in your mind?
I see. Me personally, it's just something like I was just saying. Like something's not right. The team, whether they had me guys, putting themselves before the team. I don't know. That's the way I took it.
I take it he was taking a shot at AJ Brown.
Right.
And then Brown came back as well. Whether you're sick or not, if you're playing, you got to perform. Don't give me that excuse. So they're making comments, and they're chirping back and forth. So obviously, something's going on. But also, I think it's Hurst's fault. The thing is that if the play was calling for that home run, right, and he's like double team, why you go to AJ Brown? Go somewhere else. You don't have to go to the home run. That wasn't a touchdown anyway. It wasn't a touchdown anyway. So what was it going to make?
Right. It was only third down, right? Was it third down or second down on that play? I can't remember, but
No, I actually think it was first down.
Was it? Yeah. So it wasn't fourth down.
Yeah, it was a first down, and he went for the home.
Yeah. Since we're talking about that, let me read you guys AJ Brown's tweets. That's everybody's talking about. So this is AJ Brown. Y'all fans swear y'all know everything. It's a shot play to me. I'm the first read. Let's just pause right there. Why is AJ Brown the first read when we only need about 12 yards for a field goal? Somebody please explain that to me.
Because he whines and whines, and that's it. There's no leadership. There's no leadership from Johnson. There's no leadership from Jalen Hurts, and they're trying to appease him.
That's the only explanation I can come up with too. I mean, it's ridiculous. All right, so let's go on. He just missed the throw. Of course, we could have threw it 6. We could have threw it 6 because it didn't work. But when the shit works, everyone is happy. Quit all that buddy ball shit. I am decoys on many plays. So he's pretty much trying to tell the fans he's not bitching and complaining, saying that he wants the ball all the time and he's being a decoy and being a team player. He goes on to say, and all this, he forcing me the ball shit too. I'm in his head bullshit. When I make plays, everyone's happy, but when it's incomplete, I'm making him throw me the ball. I get blamed for more shit than anything. Tired of y'all playing with my character. Has this guy lost his mind tweeting at the Philly fans?
Now I know him right. We were talking about earlier. He's a typical receiver. They're goofy. They're a different breed, and I guess now we know a little bit more that was going on in Tennessee, why they were so anxious to get rid of him.
I can't fathom sometimes when players come out and challenge the fans when
but it's Philly.
Like you're digging yourself a hole. And maybe I'm off here, but I think Howie Roseman, this could possibly be the best trade he's ever made in his tenure to bring this type of talent to Philly. And man, how is this blowing up in our face all the time?
Leadership. It all goes down to leadership. I mean, if you had a strong offensive coordinator or even a head coach, he will basically say, stop it. But they're not in charge. And Brian Johnson, I don't know, he's just a figurehead. I think just basically he got the job because his buddies with Jalen, and that's it. He doesn't go anywhere with that.
Yeah, but I mean, Jalen Hurts, we're always told is like this great leader, and he's a great team player, and he's always got the locker room. Don't you think this being his buddy, like he's got to just say, dude, like
Shut your mouth.
shut up.
Yeah,
It's
you got
serious.
something good going on here. I mean, it brings you back to the T.O. McNabb days.
Yeah.
Like what
You
the
think
hell?
you think how good of a receiver Devonta Smith is? He doesn't ever say anything. He doesn't ever complain. He's out there, what makes no sense, blocking on a screen pass for Dallas Goedert. I don't know who designed that play.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Wouldn't it be great if we could sit down after the season with the coaches and go over plays and be like, whose idea was this? Who drew up this play that we're going to have a 160-pound receiver block for your tight end who blocks defensive ends half the game?
And he kind of looked right after the play like, what the hell, dude? Like,
Yeah.
The sad part about it is that all throughout last year and the beginning of this year, only the off season, Jalen Hurts was trying to create this image of him, like, leader, things like that. And then I don't know whether he forced them, but he, wanted them to hire his buddy. And then that whole process, because his buddy's so incompetent, exposed Jalen Hurts to all this criticism. And he's not being able to be a leader because maybe he's not a leader per se, right? He does the right things, but he's not a leader when things go bad. And I think that's basically probably, one of the bad part about Jalen, because people start questioning, his leadership. And it's all the whole image coming apart just because he forced them, or he recommended that they hire his buddy and he vouched for him,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And I don't know. I know I really didn't like Hurts last year, and it took me a long time to really start to like him and think that he's going to be the guy. And now I'm not off the train, but I'm really questioning, like, is this guy the guy if he can't even get his own best friend on board? I just have questions. I just have a lot of questions. So far this year, through 14 games, he's got 19 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 8 fumbles. That's a lot of turnovers from one guy. I mean, it's not good.
no, it's a lot. And again, he's missing.
When the things start turning around, when what's his name, Sirianni start talking about the planting, the flowers, things like that, right? The way things start turning around, because they start running, right? And everybody kept saying that, well, Jalen is not really the guy. All they do is run. But the scheme was so well, executed that basically they start winning games. And then they slowly went to the passing, right, to complement the running, and they became successful, right? Now they're trying to do the opposite. They're trying to make him look like Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, which he's not, right? Everything has to be based on the running, and they have no running plan. I don't even know why Rashad Penny doesn't play. I mean, he's supposed to be a big stud running back, right? So what is the guy? I mean, you have two small guys. I mean, they're maybe shifty, but you don't have that big 250-pound, running back that can get you like a 2-3 yards when you need it. So the whole philosophy is set up, they took what was working and they go back to the system that wasn't working, and somehow they think that's going to work.
Do you think that comes from Laurie and Roseman, that they want to throw, like how it was back in the day? Because obviously, if you run the ball, you're going to be successful. We were talking about that when they played Dallas. Let's run the ball. They never had the chance to because they got down so quick. Look at Buffalo last week. They ran the ball 40-plus times. I think they ran the same play 20 times, and they blew the doors off Dallas.
I mean, the same even with this game, right? There was one play they were, moving the ball, using the time, And then he went for the home run with Quez Watkins, and then boom, that's it, right? I mean, come on, man. It's why don't you stick to what you can do? The same thing with that interception with AJ Brown. He went for the home run. Stop with this home run thing. Maybe it works once in a while, but go with the thing that's working. And that's why somebody was saying that their arrogance came, caught up with them. Somebody on the Inquirer, and that's what it is. They're so arrogant that they can do anything.
Hey, so I want to talk on that play to Quez Watkins because Donovan McNabb was on 94.1 this week and talking a little bit about what Jalen Hurts said about taking ownership or being accountable and stuff. So when I rewatched that play when Donovan McNabb was pointed out, because I was trying to figure out what exactly he was saying. He was saying that through Jalen Hurts' comments, he felt that players were actually taking off plays because they didn't like the calls. And so I looked at that play. There's Watkins lined up in the slot. They got A.J. Brown on the outside. Watkins signals to A.J. Brown, I guess telling him what he's supposed to do. When the ball snapped, A.J. Brown takes about 3 steps and stops. There's no, you can't have that in the NFL. Yeah. You still have to run a route just in case something happens in the pocket and Jalen needs a scramble and somebody's got to be open. I feel like it's getting to a point that the play calling is so bad that when a play comes in and Jalen Hurts is giving it out to everybody, players are just like, God, not again. Like, why are we calling this? And it's just like, all right, I'm not the guy it's going to. I'm taking this play off.
Well, they run the same 5 plays, it seems like. Like everybody saw McCaffrey on the Manning task cast calling plays. And if he's an offensive player, knowing what the Eagles are going to run, damn well that defense knows where they're going.
Yeah. Is that not embarrassing? You got an offensive player who's not sitting in on defensive meetings scouting the Eagles offense, but he knows the plays that we're going to run. He's not even on the field when the offense is there.
He's sitting there.
He's scouting, our defense and other defense. He doesn't have the time to know what the Eagles are doing, but if he can read the damn plays, something is clearly obvious.
Right. And that was alarming to me when he said that on the Manning cast on Monday night.
Yeah, and I
was like, something's going on. Something's wrong here.
I want to send you guys, I'll send it to you after this pod. There's another video. Who's the guy? There's a guy, an Eagles guy that always Baldy.
Baldinger?
Yeah. So he did a couple videos about the Eagles offense. And there was this one video. Every single time Jack Stahl is in the offense, the Eagles are running the ball. There's not like a single pass. And he's calling out, Baldy's calling out what runs we're going to do before, the plays even snapped. And you can tell the defense is cheating, the direction of where it's going because Stoll is always coming across the line of scrimmage and blocking out a defensive tackle or a defensive end. And they're trying to run, into the gap. It's just something is so clear and obvious of what we're doing offensively that defenses are picking it up before we can even run it. And that's why, we've been over the last 3 games outscored 95-49. I mean, can't win games.
Remember Chip Kelly, once they figured out his system, the defenses knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think even though last year when the Super Bowls and this 3rd year in a row is taking us to the playoffs, but there's fundamental issues here. And, they have to make a change. If they want to keep Sirianni as the head coach, they have to bring some offensive guru a la Steichen or somebody, because otherwise this thing's not going anywhere. It's going back.
See, last year they were benefiting the schedule too. Like we talked about it a lot last year. Like they had the easy schedule and they hardly played any quarterbacks. I think they played backup quarterbacks most of the times. To be honest, the starters were hurt.
In the playoffs, right? They got Giants who got lucky with the Vikings, and they got. And then you got San Francisco with no quarterback, and the Super Bowl, and then Super Bowl, just they got so close, man. I mean, but now there's no way that thing is
Not
done.
getting that close again.
No way, no
I'm
how.
worried. Like, I still think they're going to win. They should win the division with that schedule. They should win the division. But say they win the division, they get the 2 seed, and then they play the Rams. Say the Rams are the 7 seed. I have no confidence they can beat the Rams at home. I may sound nuts, but I have no confidence they could beat them at home.
Jimmy, 2 weeks ago, I would have been 100% on board with you, but now I'm looking at every single one of these games and how this offense is playing, and maybe you get a little spark on the defense.
I
With
don't.
Matt
I don't think
Patricia.
I don't think they could beat them. Like, I'm worried.
I'm really worried.
Like you know, I
We have
did
we
the
have two
49ers just take all their confidence from them? Like, what happened? Did the 49ers expose them that much? Like,
It seems that way.
it's completely different. Because if you think about it, like, I mean, they should have lost the Buffalo game. They could have lost to New England week 1. They could have lost to Washington. Like, there's a lot of games where, granted they won those games, but they
even
won
the
them by the skin of their teeth.
they almost lost too the first time.
Yeah. We could very much easily be 4-10 instead of 10-4.
Yeah, even eight and whatever, yeah. Like, there's a lot of question marks.
But if you look at the structure, I think on the defensive end, even though you have too many young players, but I think they're on the right track. So next year could be better because they're putting all these young people, and they're really good, but just they don't have experience. But on the offensive side, they need a new offensive coordinator. This combo with Johnson and Sirianni is not working, and that's where the big money is. I mean, it's the same offensive line as last year, right? You have all this high-paid, players, and then where is the place?
You
This
need a
is
veteran guy in there.
on.
You need a veteran guy in there, someone who's been,
Yeah.
One
someone
thing with me the other day, remember when Kelsey got the penalty, and they said, "Well, they got the penalty. What do you want me to do?" Dude, is that the only thing you can do? The tush push? That's it? If the tush push is not there, you cannot score a touchdown? What the hell?
Yeah, and then it's 3rd and 6, and we run the ball. Like, are we serious?
yeah.
It's like I'm playing my nephew in Madden or something. Just call him, whatever he wants. But all right, so we went over pretty much our offensive struggles and the coaches. I just want to go back to the defense just for a little bit. So we made the change to Matt Patricia. We got some younger guys getting some playing time. Do we think at the end of the year this is Matt Patricia's job, or would you guys look for somebody else?
I think he did a good job.
I would think it would be his job. Maybe that's why they brought him in. I would think, yeah, he's run defenses before. He knows how to call a game. I would think, yeah, he's the guy. I mean, I was blown away Sunday when I got all those texts, like hours. What was it? Noon on Sunday when everything came out.
Yeah.
Desai's getting demoted. He's up in the box now. Patricia's going to be on the field, calling the plays. I'm like, what's going on here? So Patricia's calling Desai's plays. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. They said they made the change around midweek. Nick Sirianni told the team, around midweek, and I think we found out about the Slay thing maybe a day before that.
Right.
So the coincidence there. But for me, I mean, I don't think Matt Patricia did a bad job, and I think it's really beneficial. Like, if we're going into the offseason, the cap does go up about 15 mil next year. So I don't know what it's going to cost us to cut Bradbury and Slay, but I think I really want to see more of Ringo and Ricks and Job.
Yeah. I can't see Bradbury and Slay.
They're both
gone.
If somehow they were benching Bradbury last week before the game, probably the outcome could have been much better.
Yeah,
because he was the one big shortcoming of the whole defense.
Yeah.
And everybody else was trying to, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that they have to seriously think about benching the guy, or maybe move him into slot position.
Yeah. Well, he moved to the slot position for a few weeks, and he didn't look good there either. So, and the thing is, like, we're not going to be able to replace both corners with a top pick. Obviously, if we go corner in the draft in the first round, it's a hit or miss on one corner. You're not going to get two. So, maybe we can try to find out who that other corner is going to be in the next, 3 games plus the playoff game. I'm done with Bradbury. I don't know about you guys, but I would be 100% okay with just benching him for the season. He might be the worst cornerback in the league this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. And those stats that Vahe just read out prove it. Like, that's pretty bad.
Let me ask you guys one more question. Let's just say this happens. Let's say we sat Bradbury and we let like Ringo and Job start. And let's say the defense turns it around and then Slay comes back from his knee scope and he's ready to go. Would you guys feel comfortable throwing him back in there? Because he's not playing well either.
I would say you go with the hot hand. You keep with the guys who are playing well. Like,
I don't think we're going to win anything anyway at this point. Like, I'd rather be bounced out in the first round and get a better draft pick.
And let him get the experience.
I almost hate that we're making the playoffs right now.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was thinking, like, man, I was like, we got the Giants and the Cardinals, like the same thing. I'm like, dude, I almost hate that we're going to the playoffs, like, because like we're not going to do anything.
Yeah, especially if we end up with the 5th seed, which I hope we don't. But if we end up with the 5th seed, you have to go through Dallas and San Fran.
Yeah.
At least if you had the 2nd seed, you'd only have to go through 1.
And you're at home,
Yeah.
But it's not good right now in Eagle Land.
All right, but 3 losses in a row. Now we got to go face the New York Giants with what's his name, Tommy DeVito, and his agent, the Italian Stallion.
That whack job and that. Did you see that stuff with them?
Yeah. Did you see? DeVito was supposed to go to a pizza parlor. They did a contract for $10,000 for him to show his face for about an hour or two, and his
signed some autographs.
I can imagine his agent went in with one of those like golf Italian house, like he's in the mob, and he's like, "No, you give us 20,000."
Yeah.
It's Tony Soprano with a cigar.
He was a whack job when they showed him on Monday Night Football and they played, was it Green Bay? Yeah. They kept showing him. I'm like, look at this guy.
Dude, you know how much of a fool that made Tommy DeVito look?
Yeah.
That pizza parlor went on to their social media page and was like, hey, we're not gonna have him because he wants, more money. And then Tommy DeVito had to go and show his face anyway because for free.
Yeah, I saw all that. And then, like, so supposedly that whatever the agent was doing before, he's not doing that anymore. Now someone else is handling his, off the field affairs, it said. But yeah, what a scumbag.
I mean, now that's what we got to look forward to is having to risk losing to him and having his agent with a cigar on the sideline.
Oh,
could this season get any worse?
I can't even imagine what would happen if they lost on Sunday.
The Giants have, I think they're the 30th or 32nd, somewhere ranked defense. Like,
yeah, terrible.
Maybe we're 1 behind them. Maybe we're 32 and they're 31. But they're terrible on defense. They really don't have any playmakers. Their offense is, I mean, they got the tight end back, who he's pretty good, but They really don't have any talent outside Saquon Barkley.
The line
he might not even be there next year.
The line's open minus 10.5. Now it's 12. So people think it's almost like a done deal. But who knows, man?
You're right. The Eagles should blow them away, but who knows? The Eagles should win, 28-10, but they might win 24-20. Who knows? Like the way this team's playing.
So the Eagles really need a game where they could just blow a team out and get some confidence back and get back on track.
And this is that game. It should be.
This should be that game. And then you're going right into Arizona where you want to kick Jonathan Gannon's ass.
And then you got the Giants again.
I'm just nervous.
I'm so I'm just yeah.
It's hard to feel confident in a team where you see the ship sinking.
Yeah.
There's too many little finger pointing and little smoke screens. You know something big is going on behind the scenes.
Right. 100%.
It's hard to get
excited.
Up and excited for a game where it should be a blowout.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But all right, let's get into the picks. I know everybody's gonna have the Eagles winning, so Jimmy, let's start with you.
I'm going to say the Eagles are going to rebound and win 28-10.
28-10, 18-point victory. All right, that's a cover.
I may look like a fool, Will, but that's what I think. But I don't know anything, so.
What are you thinking, Vahe?
21-14, Eagles.
21-14.
Going to be closer than we
Close
think.
game.
Yeah.
So if it's a close game, are we even more nervous now going into like the final 2 weeks?
I think we're going to be nervous the rest of the season.
We're just.
Yeah. I almost I was talking to my friend and I'm just like, why am I so invested in the Eagles where I literally I get so frustrated and sick when they're struggling and they look bad. And it's because I'm just such a diehard fan, but man, I just wish sometimes I could just sit back and just be like, it's okay, there's always next year.
The problem is that when everybody goes on TV and tells you or us, they know what plays they're going to call, So basically, if those two guys, then Nick Bosa and then McCaffrey, they already, obviously said it, right? Other people, they know the same thing. So within a week or two, when you're not changing the structure of the offense, right? How are you going to change the plays? Everybody knows what you're going to call, right? They didn't demote Johnson. Sirianni's still there, right? They're going to come up with new plays within a week. That's for me, that's the issue. It's that basically there's, the show is over. Everybody knows what you're doing.
If you watch, like I was saying earlier, if you watch the 49ers play, there's about 4 or 5 plays a game where you're just like, wow, where'd that come from on offense that they run? You're just like, wow. And it works.
And their players have bought into the system. They know if they're decoys or if they're setting picks.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be
on the same page.
Unfortunately, even if everybody's on the same page for our offense, it still stinks.
It's so funny, Will, what you were saying at the beginning about Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts being similar. I can see similarities in the sense that how they make things happen. Remember, if you look at the Carson Wentz the first year, the way he became very successful because he was running around and making things happen, right? And then when they tried to make him like a pocket passer, he just basically regressed. And I think the same thing with Hurts, not to that extent, but Hurts, his strength was basically running around, right? And open things up, and then things would happen. Now, this year, they want him to be like the traditional pocket passer, right? So they expect him to basically drop back and somehow A.J. Brown or, Dallas Goedert or the Smith to get open because they have a very good offensive line and then make connections and make things happen. But that's not working, for whatever reason, it's not working. And that's basically, because the plays are so predictable, everybody, they know what's coming up. But I think that's what it is. They want him to be the traditional pocket quarterback because of the money they paid him. But he's not that, right? He wants to run around to make things happen. And he said the same thing too. He goes, even though it wasn't 100% accurate, remember he said that I get more injured when I'm in the pocket than I'm running around, right? Technically, that's not. He said that in the beginning of the season. But I think that's what it is. Fundamentally, they're trying to make him look or be somebody that he's not, like they tried to do with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but he does want to run around because that is really his game.
Mhm.
But it seems like he's always trying to escape the pocket to the right side of the field, and defenses are catching on to that now.
I mean, that's kind of scheming. I mean, the thing is that instead of trying to make him something else, they should try to work with his strengths. And I think that's the problem with Steichen. Probably he was working with his strengths. With this new group with Johnson and Sirianni, I think they're trying to make him something that he's not. And he could be accurate. I think he's more accurate than Carson Wentz is, within the pocket. But he's not a traditionally pocket quarterback. You have to let him get outside and try to make things happen. Not to the extent that Wentz was doing, but you have to give him some liberty to do that, or create the plays that allows him to be, elusive. But right now, that's not what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm not Steichen it. I think Sirianni is going to have one more shot at this next year to get it right. I think he's going to have one more hire, and it better get back on track because this team is still very talented. There's a lot of talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball. On paper, it's definitely a top 5 offense. You still got a great line, and you got 2 number 1 receivers and a top 5 tight end. You should put up a lot of points. So I think Jeffrey Lurie is going to give him one more year, and
yeah, it's like this time next year, like that might be it. He's got to get it figured out. Look at Steichen's doing with the Colts, and he's doing it with a backup quarterback.
Exactly.
And they're right now. I think they're the 7th seed in the AFC.
Yeah,
and he took over a coach who got fired too.
Yeah, right. And their top pick, Richardson's been out since September, I think, or maybe October. But
I think Gardner Minshew is going to end up. He's going to be a starting quarterback somewhere in this league. But all right, so let me give you my pick. I actually have the Giants winning.
Oh wow,
28-17.
Wow.
Damn, Will.
I am out.
I'm out too, but I still think they're gonna win. Damn. Oh, could you imagine the link if that happened? They might burn the place down.
I am assuming that there's going to be a lot of boos at halftime, and this will mark the end of the Eagles season, pretty much.
Wow.
Well, they made a playoff. I mean, technically it's not the end of the season. They're still going to go to the playoffs. But I agree with you. I can see that happening. I can easily see that happening.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real tough game because it's a divisional game, and Tommy DeVito, he doesn't care about anything right now. He's trying to show the world that he can play in this league, and the Eagles it's like they're on skates right now. Yeah.
Man, Will, you're right about that.
Well, look, I'm usually wrong, so let me just pick against the Eagles, and hopefully things will start working out for us.
Man.
All right, guys, but any last thoughts?
I think you did an excellent job. Well, I think you did an excellent job, and you did this show. So congratulations.
Yeah, well, good job, man.
Law's
gonna be very proud of you.
Yeah, I tried. I mean, he's really hurting from pickleball. I think he did tell me last week that a 14-year-old girl beat him. So I'm sure he probably was real discouraged after playing today, and that's why he was tired and had to go to bed.
I got a first thing about.
He was surprised.
Man.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up.
Peace.
That's this week's Flying High with the Birds. We'll see you next week, hopefully after an Eagles win.
Have a good Christmas, guys.
Yeah, have a good holiday, guys.
Happy Christmas.
See you guys.
Yeah.